Hello again, everyone. This is Ken Kibler, Director of Client Profitability for eTruckBiz. Looks like our attendee list is still growing, so we could sit tight for one more minute. We'll get going. Got some pretty big announcements today, as well as covering some of the volume numbers as well. Okay, it looks like it's leveled off, Jeff. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Jeff Balzac. Thank you very much.
All right. So as always, we need to make sure you know that eTruckBiz is not endorsed, sponsored, or approved, or otherwise affiliated with FedEx or Growing. Okay, everybody wants to know what's going on with the volume. Looks like pickup stops still kind of drifting where they're at, a little drifting down a little bit, down 1%. Packages look like they're bouncing off the trend, which is good, but the trend is looking like it's going the wrong way. So we need to see what we can do about fixing that. So over on the delivery side, as you know, it's a little bit different, still flat, and we're running under the trend line, which is not too good. But at least last week came up a little bit. Same thing, packages up a little bit last week too. So, okay, that's good. We're not seeing too much of a move, but that's good. But there is something going on still with the productivity. And yes, we're worried about this. Week 8 productivity. So first of all, the routes dispatched, good. We cut out a few routes. That's a good thing, right? Like it says here, a small adjustment was made. But the problem is we're still way under the trend line there for stops per dispatch. Now, hopefully, and we go over this all the time, but we're going to go through it again. Stops per dispatch equal revenue per dispatch. And if we're not dispatching enough revenue per dispatch, then what happens?
Can't make any money. Profitability is a function of revenue per dispatch.
Right. And harder to pay our bills. We're watching the checkbook balance. It's not going the right way. It's going the wrong way. So anyway, we're all about making sure that everybody understands what stops per dispatch mean, what revenue per dispatch means. Looks like we had a little bit of good activity by cutting out a few dispatches last week, but we're still way down there. So if you want advice or you want to talk to somebody about what's going on in your operation, you can get a hold of Ken or Bob, and they'll be happy to do some analyze your operations. Okay. So, as everybody knows, there's this thing called Network 2.0 that's still out there. Now, a lot of folks are saying, well, they didn't do what they were going to do in January, February. Maybe this is going away. Oh, it's not going away. However, it gets implemented, might change a little bit. I am sure, just like any plan, every plan gets tweaked a little bit. Everything, you may have to make some changes. Everything you set out to do, whatever you're going to do, doesn't necessarily go how you want it to go. And I can tell you that we know that some of this didn't go how FedEx wanted it to go to begin with. So they're working on a few things, but it's still coming. It's still coming no matter what. So it's not bad news that Network 2.0 is coming. It's good news. So how about some good news out there? So the good news is we know that we have something that you're going to want to take a look at. So at this point, we'd like to introduce you to something called expressPRO by eTruckBiz. So this system, the whole thing here that we're going to show you, has been nearly a year in development. expressPRO is a welcome way to make work life simpler and save CSPs a lot of money. Okay, you're going to see a whole bunch of things here in a second. It's designed to relieve current and future pain associated with the implementation of Network 2.0. So when Network 2.0, when it comes to your terminal, things are going to change a lot. We've been talking about this and talking about it and talking about it, but you can ask the folks that it has affected, and they'll tell you the same thing. Things are different, things are changing, right? So there are some pain points when it's time for you to start implementing some express volume into your operation. There's going to be some pain points. There's going to be some things that hurt. Now, which things are those, right? First thing that Network 2.0 is going to be painful for, the first people they're going to be painful for are drivers. So drivers' lives are going to change big time. And in the age of easy, everybody wants everything easy these days. Drivers are no different than anybody else. They want everything easy. In general, hard work is considered toxic to some. Sometimes hard work, I don't think in this case hard work necessarily means, lifting heavier boxes or anything like that. They're used to that. That doesn't bother them. Hard work might be considered doing something different, right? Change is not something that a lot of folks like to embrace, and they're going to see lots of change, right? So expressPRO, one of probably the biggest thing, or the big consideration when we were developing expressPRO, was we wanted to make it ridiculously easy to prioritize and execute time-definite stops for drivers, right? So we want to give the drivers what they want. What do they want? They want their day to be easy. They don't want problems in their day. They want some order. They want to make sure they can do what they're there to do. So that's one of the things for sure that expressPRO addresses. The next thing that expressPRO addresses is the complexity of the express operation. Now, a lot of everybody, even the folks that have started doing some of the express volume, there's a lot more to it than what you've already seen. You haven't seen the DGs yet. You haven't seen, well, some folks have actually had to get TSA certified and some other things that are going to happen. But anyway, logistically speaking, express and ground are very different operations. It's almost like night and day. They handle different types of services. So a new enhanced level of monitoring what's going on is required. So expressPRO untangles the new operational knots caused by the demands of time-definite stop execution, right? You're going to have to achieve, we've talked about this before as well, you're going to have to achieve a new level of service. It's not going to just be inbound local service anymore. You're going to have to achieve on time, priority overnight on time. There's different time definite stops, and those are going to count. They're going to measure that, and more than likely, you're going to be held accountable more for time definite deliveries than you will for inbound local service, even though inbound local service is still very, very important, right? Okay, and the last thing that's happening right now is money. How much is this going to cost me? Do I got to buy 10 more trucks? Do I got to do this? Do I got to do that? No, the answer is no, you don't have to buy 10 more trucks. But you need to watch what's going on here. You can't just throw drivers and capacity at the whole thing. There's an engineered method to how this works, which expressPRO addresses. Money's always a concern. But we think, as we went through this whole thing, we think that routing software should be getting better as it evolves. And as it gets better, it gets less expensive. The question we have for all of you on here right now is, has your routing software gotten less expensive for you? Don't think so. In fact, some of the folks out there have figured out new ways to extract more money by making you pay for, let's say, payroll or whatever else. They want to add on ways for you to pay them more money. We're about to fix that, right? So cost effectiveness. Are you looking for ways to save money? If you are looking for ways to save money, say hello to expressPRO, where you could save a lot of money a month. We'll talk a lot about that in the future. All right. As you're about to see, expressPRO is packed with tons of benefits to help you successfully handle the new express volume. Here are just a few. So as most of you know, maybe you don't know, eTruckBiz, we have a real-time data feed from FedEx, which helps us do all of the other things we're going to tell you about here. But if you didn't know, we do. We're one of the very few that have that capability. expressPRO, in this case, there's a new driver-friendly user interface, right? The drivers are all about what it is they see, and if they look at the software and it looks good, or it looks like I can follow it, must be okay. We currently have roughly over 1,000 drivers using this user interface every day, and they like it, so that's good. There's going to be alerts and guidance to aid in decision making. So we talked about the complexity of these stops. It is a big deal. You can't, there's not a lot of room for error, especially when you're trying to get time definites done. You can't go out of route. People are still trying to circle stops and do this and do that. And they're finding out that doesn't work. You really do have to go at the route as it came out of the DRO in the first place. Now, you have to do it perfectly the same way, the exact way it comes out of there. You can make a few alterations, but it's tough, and you gotta be alert to what's going on, what's next, what's coming up. Everybody has to be alerted, not just the drivers. So the BCs and even AOs, alerts and guidance to aid decision making is a big deal, big part of the whole thing. Now, just so you know, I think one of the biggest things we have going on in the new expressPRO packages is tracking the preload as in real time as it's going on. So preload tracking for proactive route decision making. So the time to fix some of the problems that you'd see out there on the road isn't necessarily when the folks are out there on the road. It's before they dispatch, right? If somebody's got too many 1030s or who knows what it is, the best thing to do is to fix that before everybody leaves the building. So we'll see how that's going on there. This to come out right, but completely automated driver interactions. So drivers don't have to interact. They don't have to tell the software that they made a stop or anything like that. It's completely automated for drivers. There's something we'll see here in a minute called the hot sheet to bring attention to time definite situations or needed stops that need attention. See that here in a second. And yes, unprecedented routing software pricing. I'll show you that here in a second too. In fact, expressPRO has already saved one client the following. So this client of ours uses another software package, and they are charged, actually they're charged something different every month, which, okay, but Routes used per month, 37. Popular route software provider charge per route of $35. If you know who that is, then you know what I'm talking about there. So, this didn't come out right. But anyways, the popular routing software monthly charge is $1,295 a month. Ken, did you make these slides?
Nope.
No. expressPRO is going to be offered at $395 for unlimited use per month.
Even with my criminal justice, I can do that math.
How about that? Why
So,
this came out like this, I have no idea. Monthly savings of, in this case, $900 a month. That's over $10,000 a year. Should you pay for something that your drivers don't even use? So those of you that have popular routing softwares, can you tell me that your drivers use that software every single day, all the time? You can answer that. Not to mention the other features and benefits that are included in eTruckBiz that other providers are going to try to charge you extra for, right? So not only is it for sure a lower cost, but you're getting more value out of eTruckBiz because we're not charging you for all the extra stuff that everybody wants to charge you for. All right, so let's see if we can get Ken to show us a little bit about what I tried to show you at least, but hang on here a second.
right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, hang on, trying to
I think I can.
figure.
I think I can take it.
Take it if you can take it.
I'm going to start with the driver app because that seems to be the biggest concern for the routing software. Okay, so if I go in, if I'm a driver and I choose my route, see right here on the CSA, here's my work area. Of course, I can clock in, I can do pre-trip, post-trip, I can do my safety training, I can do scheduling in here, all of this, not extra, part of the pricing for that. I can send messages, but if I want to see my route, I click on it, and this is en route, and I can see right now I've got 91 stops complete, 61 to go. If I just wanted to look at my time definites, I can see those, and I've got them down. I've got 13 of the 19 done, and I've got them ordered in the sequence that they were delivered. So SID 1001, that was a 1030. 1009, that was a 1700. And I've got them in that order. So it's going to tell me the order that I want to deliver these, and I can follow this order. Once again, taking away the thinking from your drivers. You want to make sure to make it as easy as possible for your drivers. Okay. There's all my time definite stops that I have left. If I want to see everything, I can see that. And once again, everything done is grayed out. Your driver doesn't have to guess. They don't have to come in here, mark it as delivered, use a scanner, mark delivery there, take a picture there, come back over here. All of this is automated and done for them. Okay. It once again, they can vary from it. This driver has not done this stop. Said what he's probably done is gone and done a lot of his time definites first and skip some of these. And the reason being, this particular station normally dispatches at 9:30. I think they got on the road at 10 o'clock today. So each driver had to rush to get as many of the 10:30s done as they could. Okay. And the interesting thing about this station is they also had the final mile people there looking at their settlement. So FedEx is working with the contractors there to try to get the settlement right on these time definites because there's some discrepancies here that they're working on. But if I want to pick a stop and I want to get turn by turn directions to it, I click on it, tells me the SID number, tells me one package. I can get turn by turn voice navigation, or I can go step by step, or I can look at it. Once again, this is available to you on the driver's phone or any device that you have in the truck. So if my driver just wants to go to the next stop, he goes to the next stop as well. So great way to train new drivers, great way to discipline your drivers to deliver the truck in the order it's loaded, and it works along with the dynamic DRO. And FedEx isn't going to control your manner, method, and means, but if you're not delivering 98.5 and you're not working with the dynamic DRO, you're going to have some issues with FedEx because they are not going to allow you to damage the brand. They're going to expect 98.5 service and they're going to measure it. That I can assure you.
Hey,
Okay.
Ken.
Yes.
Hey, also too, if you don't provide something for your drivers, I know not everyone does, and they buy it on their own, they can get in here and just use this for nothing if you're a subscriber.
Yeah. So and I said some people just use the scanner. The scanner, you can see your time definite, but that doesn't put them in order. So we've got customers that the drivers don't feel they need the turn by turns, but they want to come in here and they want to prioritize their time definite shipments. And you can see this guy has done his priority overnights. And you do get alerts as if you're within 15 minutes or 30 minutes of this, it will turn yellow and tell your driver that, hey, this one is urgent. So you've got that built in, that sense of urgency for your drivers to do that. Okay. The other key part is managing or monitoring your drivers, I should say. And I've left this one, I didn't update this afternoon. I wanted to see what time definites were still out there. And you could see the driver was on the road 2 hours, 20 minutes. Oh, he's got 4 time definites that were within 30 minutes of being due, 3 time definites within 30 minutes of due. So I can see all of that right there. I could see how they've progressed along. I've got my inbound local service, my summary down here. If I want to drill down and see where the driver is, hey, I can do that as well too. So I can go there. If I just want to look at the time commitments, here we go. So, and I've got for this CSA, 1030's chosen, 23 of 29, 23 of 23 on time. So this was before 1030 that I had this, but we had these stops that had not been delivered by 1030. Okay. So now probably due to them getting out late, but you could see by using the dynamic DRO, stop 8, stop 10, stop 11, stop 12. But once again, if they got out at 10 o'clock and these had to be delivered by 1030, chances aren't real good that this guy was going to get 10 stops done in a half an hour. Just not going to happen. So I'm sure they were given grace, but here we've got this driver with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1030s. That's a lot, especially if you know you're getting out Normal dispatch time is 9:30 and they've got to be delivered by 10:30. So I can see the number of 10:30s normally on my preload if before dispatch, but once they're dispatched, they go to on road. So that's something you want to keep a look on, is how many 10:30 stops do I have on each driver? Okay, and you can see this person still had 7 of them at this time to do. So we probably gave this person too many 10:30s, but quite frankly, with the late air trailer, they didn't have a chance anyhow. Okay. If I come now to my time commitments, I can change it to noon. And once again, I've got all these that had not been delivered, but I haven't updated this. I will update this and come back to it. But this is one of the absolute most powerful tools that's available. The other thing that is on here is, lo and behold, I can check my revenue and I can see what my wages are for the day. Because once again, if I don't have enough revenue and if my wages exceed 45% of that revenue, I'm in trouble. That owner's benefit of 12% is disappearing. Okay. Because you're still going to have fuel, it's going to be there, still going to have truck payments, they're going to be there. But if my revenue, if my labor is exceeding 45% of my revenue, I got a problem. And we'll help you put these numbers in to see what your labor rates are. And one of the other things we're going to do, I don't have the preload look up there, but if we did, you would see what the min max was for the driver. And that minimum would be, what does that route need to make money? And the max is going to be how many stops can I put on that truck and still provide service? And then you're going to we'll probably have another number where we have a target for the max number of time definite stops for the 10:30s, just because you're going to have to manage that. And once again, that 10:30 and noon service is measured. That's the one that they're going to grade you on for that 98.5. That's the one that you're going to get paid the bonus on, but only if you're at 98.5. So critical numbers there. But this is absolutely the most powerful tool that needs to be in your manager's hand. And as an owner, I want to have access to this, but I also what I'm going to show you next is you're going to have access to a desktop version of this on kind of a trimmed down method. But here I can see I've got 12 of my 12 routes on the road, 32 urgent ones. This CSA had 29 10:30s, 35 noons, 40 by 5 p.m., and 113 by 8 p.m. So you can see there, I get a great overview of my operation. Okay. Now I'm going to go to what we have in the updated boss system. Bob, anything to add? Jeff, anything to add?
Nope.
Not this time, Ken. No.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Where I've got the on-road view. So once again, you had the on-road view with the Optics app. Absolutely fantastic for your managers. But hey, I'm the owner. I didn't go in the building today. I want to see what's going on. I've got my laptop pulled up. Boom. Here it is. I can see what's going on. You can see this one is from a little bit later in the day. This driver's done 72 and 95 stops, done 8 of the 10 time definite stops, pickup stops. Right there, got their packages. All of that is listed in there. Pickup packages, everything's put in here. How long have they been on the road? So I can see that. I get my summary down here. Boom. Here was the preload. Like I said, this is what the preload would look like, if you have a route, be able to develop min maxes. Once again, we're going to have a target for your time definites, but we'd have your delivery stops, your time definite stops with your 1030s down here and your number of pickup stops. So if I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I want to know what's happening in my operation, how it's building. I've got it all right here on my preload. Then once they all go on the road, comes here. Oh, I want to look at the time commitments as well. Absolutely. And you have the same sort functions here. I can look at my 1030 results. Boom. I can see how I did. This CSA, 24 of the 29 were on time. And we know why they were late is simply because they dispatched late, and I could see which ones were late. I can see how late they were as well. So 10:49, 11:09, 11:31, 10:49. So I can see for the most part, the drivers made a pretty solid effort to try to get there, especially with that late dispatch out of the building. Okay, now let's see how we did on our news. Click here. Got my noons pulled up. Lo and behold, 35 of 35. Fantastic job by this group of drivers. They got that delivered. So I'm sure the 1030s were exempt due to the late dispatch in this building. It seems to be in this building, Tuesday is very common for a late air trailer. I'm not sure why, but it is very, very common. Okay. So if I wanted to see what my upcoming ones were, what do I got? What do I got to do at 1700? How am I doing there? So say it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to take a sneak peek at this. This is what I've got left to do. If I just wanted to see just the undelivered ones, I could do that as well. All I do is click that, and I can just see the undelivered packages that I have left for the time definite stops. Okay.
So Ken, this would be your hot sheet.
Absolutely.
So it's not so hot right now because it's not that close to 5 o'clock yet. But if it was 4 o'clock, you'd want to know.
Yep. And
Which
think what
ones
this
aren't
hot
running.
sheet looked like this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning for those 1030s.
Right.
Okay. I mean, because if I come back here in my 1030s, this thing was on fire because they just left the building. So, and if I want to go back and remember, from that, they had like 30, they had 29 to get off in a half an hour spread out amongst their drivers. Okay. So this tool is great for you when you're sitting in the office. If I'm on the road, if I'm here right now, you can't drill down here, but at the same time, you could have your phone next to you. You could have a tablet next to you. You could then pull up the Optics app and drill down by driver as well. Okay. Bob, anything that you can think of that I didn't do?
Just a good tool to track your percentages, so you know how you're doing. If you
Correct.
don't know day to day, it'll be a surprise at the end of the week when you don't get it, when you get the notification from FedEx. But again, it shouldn't be a surprise. This keeps it from being a surprise to you on if you hit your time definite percentage or not of 98.5.
Right. And that on time number is going to be huge, a huge part of your metals determination. So if you're bronze, you'd be looking at this all the time. If you're silver, look at it. If you're gold, if you want to, but you want to impact this on time. They're going to go after this on time service, folks. You know it. You know it as well as we do. So this is a
Believe me,
huge.
FedEx is going to be aggressive. They'll understand if you miss one by 5 minutes or something, but at the same time, you miss one every day of those noons and 1030s, you're not going to get that money. They might not come after your contract, at that point. But if you're just ignoring them and your drivers are doing what they want to do in the order that they want to do it, they'll come after your contract. And we saw it within, was it 8 weeks in one building?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
it'll happen. I'm gonna go back to the phone look here. Okay, so now I've updated here the app. You can see I've got my 13 to 13 on the road. We're complete. Don't have any urgents, so I'm happy there. The other thing here, I can see how many stops per dispatch I have today, 105 on the road. For me, I want to see how I did last week. Lo and behold, 105 last week, 105 this week. So Tuesday seems to be the most productive day. Wednesday, 102. Last Thursday, 90. How'd I drop that much? If I'm the owner, I'm asking my BC. And if I'm the BC, I'm gonna expect a call from my owner. Hey, yo, and I'm gonna have to explain this. Hopefully I got a good explanation. But so once again, I can see all those numbers. Great numbers to have here. Gonna definitely help your operation. I'm gonna go to some questions now. First question, what happens when the terminal has late dispatch? How will that affect the 10:30 a.m. time definite contractors? They will say it's like 15 minutes late. The local station can give you 15 minutes of grace, and they will do that. If it's so late, like in this case, that it was the 10:30, there was a 10 o'clock dispatch, they would probably exempt all of the 10 o'clocks, but not the noons, or the 10:30s, but not the noons. So make sure you know what's going to be exempted before your drivers leave the building, and make sure you communicate that with the drivers. Bob or Jeff, anything to add on that?
No, it's just, I mean, you'll get used to how they work this, but don't think that all the time they're gonna, the exemptions that get passed out like, sticks of gum, they're gonna try to get you to get them on time.
Yeah, and this one we saw they got out a little bit late. They came pretty close to getting it done. I looked at a station late last week. They got out a little bit late, but there were 10:30 a.m. routed stops that were getting delivered at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. At that point, the customer's not going to be happy. That's for sure. Yeah, there might have been a reason your driver didn't get there at 10:30, but 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's not gonna, that you can't do. Okay. Does FedEx still provide approximately 3 months notice when Network 2.0 is
On
going
your
to?
station.
Yes, normally they will. It sounds like something broke last minute in Montana, correct, Jeff? But I think that's few and far in between where that's going to happen.
Right. It's coming. I know it's tough. It's tough to sit here and say, well, it's not coming yet. It's not coming. I don't have to worry about it. I think you do have to worry about it.
Right.
Now, don't lose any sleep over it, but it's coming. You'll get it. You'll get some for sure.
Yep. Exempt, no late charge. No, yeah. So they don't charge back for late deliveries. What they do is you'll have an addendum to your contract that you will get an additional pay per stop for your time definites. But you have got to achieve the goal of 98.5 for the service level. And that means your 10:30 and your noons have to have achieved 98.5 to get that payout. But at this point, they're not charging back for failures, but you are not getting paid that extra bonus amount. And that bonus amount can be $3, $5. I think Bob's got a customer that's got them at $11. So, but it's something you have to manage. It's something that you have to monitor. And it is, as Jeff we've talked about for the last 3 months, 4 months, it's a culture change for your drivers. They've got to deliver that truck in the order it's loaded. And for your BC, that means using the dynamic DRO. And your driver's got to get used to, hey, I don't have the same route every day. It's close, but there's areas that I'm going to do every day, and there's a flex area that Joe might do, or I might do, or Fred might do. That's going to happen. And once again, it's a culture change. Okay.
Hey, Ken,
Yes.
another thing, everyone, about using the dynamic DRO, it just gives the DRO more options on where to send that package. If it's only got one option and they've got 10, there may not be a way to get those off. So using the dynamic, it will allow the computer to, just give it more options in order to get those off timely. And two, once your dynamic is set up, you got very little change at night. You may be changing one work area or another, but the dynamic works. And the more I work with it, with more clients, the greater confidence I have in it. It works. It's changed. That's the hard part. But again, they're not doing anything harder. They're just doing something a little bit different. And again, it's culture change. And you may have 2 or 3 stops in a different area that you're not used to, but again, it's 2 or 3 stops.
Yeah, I say it is definitely a change, culture. So what can you do? Make it as easy for them as possible. We think our routing, identifying the time definites by the service type is absolutely critical and has proven to be effective. So we get a customer that was in a building, they were there as contingency. Nobody else was even paying attention to the time definites. His BC broke out the optics app, started calling drivers at 10 o'clock saying, hey, how close are you getting to this? Boom, 100%. Guess what became culture? That they provided 100% service on their 10:30s and their noons. Once in a while, would it late click, get in there? Absolutely. But now they're driving what the culture is, that we're going to deliver 98.5 on time service in this building with our time definite stops. Okay. So we think this program is outstanding. No doubt about it. It's going to help you monitor your operation, help you get the desired results you want. And as Jeff said, going to save you a lot of money, a lot of money. So it's theirs. If you're interested, please reach out. If you have questions, please call me. We want to help you be successful. Do you want to wait until time definite show up on your door to start changing the culture? Absolutely not. This system will benefit your operation immediately. It helps you start to change the culture, and the savings are real. I can't stress that enough. The savings are real. With that, Jeff, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, just what you said, same thing, Ken. You can start using it now. The whole package is now out there. You can save a lot of money getting used to using it before the time definites hit. That's what we would suggest you do. It's a big deal. That, as you guys know, you're going to have the struggle is going to be changing the driver culture. So and it's coming. So we're at the end of February here, getting into March. Some of you are gonna start getting your notices that come June 1st, they're gonna time definites, and maybe more than just the 20 to 25% tryout stops are gonna be there. Some of you are gonna get the whole boat. We've seen that too. So you don't want to necessarily shock the drivers and everything all at one time. You want to get them to start using the tools that are going to make them successful in the future. That's the smart way to do this. So that's all I got, Ken.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't show, if I'm sitting here at my desktop and I want to update this, all I do is hit that update button and it's going to update the data. So I just want to make sure I point that out. So you can update all day long. Follow your, monitor, because if you don't monitor, behaviors won't change. So that's our goal, is to give you the tools to monitor it, give you a program that's easy to use, easy for your drivers, and more so, extremely cost effective. Okay. June 1st is a national day for time definite. No, but it's going to be a big day for time definites. Okay. How is this different from Route Smart's DRO? It actually works with Route Smart's DRO, as we said. You want to make sure that you utilize the dynamic anchors. And what it does then is have your driver deliver that truck in that order, but giving your driver the ability to break off, because if something's out of place, something not quite right, you can do that. Your driver can break off and still go to the stops that they want to go to. Okay, so and it doesn't ruin the whole integrity of the overall routing system that the dynamic DRO has set up. Okay, so if you're just using your scanner, it's scanners are great, and yeah, they're kind of free. This adds so much more. Like I said, the drivers can see their time definites by 10:30s, by noons. That's something they can't do in the scanner. And then it gives you the monitoring tools, because right now, if I'm a CSP, I have no way of monitoring. If I'm just using DRO, I have no way to monitor my progress of my time definites as my drivers are on the road. It says, well, the driver have to use both systems. They're not marking anything as delivered in the eTruckBiz system. Once it is marked as delivered in the scanner, it grays out on the driver app. Okay, so they're just using this for the turn by turns if they want. They don't have to, but they can. Like I said, the biggest thing is they can identify each time definite package, what the service level is on that, where it is in the truck. And like I said, some drivers that use the routing from the Route Smart DRO, they still want to see before they leave. They want to see that list. But for you as the AO or the BC, you want to monitor that success, how they're proceeding all day long. And you could see here, I'm going to be checking my on road. I'm going to be checking my time definites absolutely all day long here. I've still got this, this person here, 18 of their 26. Yeah, they're all 5 PMs and 8 PMs, but from 9:30 till noon, boy, I'm going to be all over this thing. Okay.
Okay. So Ken, the DRO is primarily for planning.
Correct.
Right? And it's used to tell FedEx how to load your truck.
Yes, it is.
So we can argue all day, do they load it how it's planned? But that's what the DRO is for. Our system is for the execution of the plan. There's two different pieces there.
Yep. Without a doubt. And once again, I could see my inbound local service. I can see my time definites, how I'm doing down here. I got all my totals, see my stops per hour. Everything is right tip of my hand if I'm sitting at home at my desktop or my laptop. If I'm not, what am I doing? I'm pulling up my optics app. So it's a great thing. All righty. So with that, I want to thank everybody for the time, for the questions. Once again, if you have more questions, please reach out to us. We're excited about this rollout. We know it's the right thing to do for contractors and their drivers. And we look forward to working with you as you change the culture and drive profitability in your business. So with that, everybody have a safe, profitable week, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Bye-bye.